Thieves have ransacked the home of a grandmother in Melbourne's west, stealing $100,000 worth of possessions. Her Hoppers Crossing property was robbed while she was away in what she believes was a targeted attack.
Stacey Pink's home was ransacked while she was away camping with friends.
I'm just devastated that everything is gone.
Using a crowbar, thieves broke in through the back door last weekend, turning her house and caravan upside down.
It's disgusting, it's despicable. There's not enough words to describe it without just getting too upset.
The 70-year-old runs a metal detecting page on Facebook with 2,000 members. She's convinced one of them planned the robbery.
In my opinion, it was a jealousy crime, whatever you want to call it.
Among the items taken during the late-night heist, collectibles, valuable coins and jewellery worth up to $100,000.
That was full of all my jewellery finds from detecting. It was like 90% silver jewellery.
Priceless personal items were taken too, including a blanket belonging to her late mother.
And that's all I had of her things. It's gone.
Ms Pink is now so afraid for her safety, she's moving out, fearing her home will be targeted again. Friends have set up a GoFundMe page to cover insurance costs. Police are investigating. So far, no arrests have been made. For now, the grandmother has given up her passion for prospecting.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do next.
Ainsley Kosh, 7 News.
The man behind a YouTube channel that illegally posted online videos of the Bruce Luhrmann defamation trial has been ordered to front court. The proceedings have been live streamed, but viewers are banned from rebroadcasting them. Justice Michael Lee ordered Google to reveal the identity of the person behind the anonymous Feminism Debunked account. He's been named as Glenn Logan and ordered to appear in the federal court in February. A Chinese surveillance balloon that was shot out of the sky in the US earlier this year was using an American internet service provider to send back information to Beijing. An official has told local media the connection let the balloon send short bursts of data, mostly related to navigation and location. But it was reportedly also storing imagery and data to transmit later. China maintains it was a weather balloon that blew off course. More than 100 people stranded on a large ice drift in the US have been rescued. The group was fishing on an ice floe on the Minnesota River when it detached from the shore and drifted away. Locals tried to ferry the anglers back to land using canoes, but 4 people fell into the freezing water. Emergency services spent 3 hours getting all 122 people to safety. Nobody was hurt. A Melbourne singer trolled online over his rare disability has defied his bullies, surging to the top of the UK charts. He decided to turn one of the cruelest comparisons on its head and is now having the last laugh.
He burst onto the scene on The Voice this year, his powerful vocals making him a fan favourite. But not all of the attention was kind. Social media trolls targeted Sean Millis over his rare genetic condition, Hunter syndrome. Mocking him for his resemblance to Manchester United player Rasmus Højlund. And every week he was left wanting, trolls sent him this. But rather than let it get him down, Sean embraced the likeness.
We love and respect you, Højlund. You got this. Let's go. I was like, I have to support Højlund. So I jumped on it. Højlund, you've done it. You're a legend, man.
And suddenly Sean was celebrating a miracle of his own.
You are #1 in the UK on the viral charts.
You're joking. I've never been first at anything.
No more waiting. His debut single is now a certified hit.
I couldn't expect the response. I'm kind of speechless.
And Sean's having the last laugh. Jacinta Lee, 7 News.
Motorbike hoons are flouting the law on Melbourne freeways. Next, the dangerous stunts putting other drivers at risk. Also, family affair, why a police recruit was inspired to join the force. The popular cars to be sold without a safety rating, and tall order, the fight to save a species older than the dinosaurs. Motorbike hoons have been captured in another display of death-defying stunts on Melbourne roads. Videos posted to social media show dirt bikes and road bikes breaking several laws. In one, the riders can be seen weaving across a freeway with smoke streaming from their wheels. The same group was filmed taunting police last week. One of them also reportedly vandalised a police car. The incident has been reported to police. The Albanese government is launching a review into the Weather Bureau following complaints it failed to warn people about deadly summer storms. At the centre of the probe, communication between authorities and the public during natural disasters.
Roofs ripped off, homes flooded and 11 deaths. Councils say warnings about the impending carnage were lacking or imprecise.
I think it's unforgivable.
Tonight, the Albanese government is defending the bomb.
The Bureau of Meteorology were providing updates and warnings through their websites, through their social media accounts.
But admits it could improve, launching a review.
Meteorology is not a perfect science, and I'm very open to the view that we can do better.
We always want to keep getting better, and that's been our approach to disaster response.
In a fortnight, the Weather Bureau will sit down with the state, federal and local governments to discuss how to warn the public accurately and in time. Under the microscope will be Emergency Alert, the national telephone warning system. Each state operates it differently. In Queensland, local councils are responsible for sending out text and voice messages during severe weather.
People weren't receiving the sorts of text messages providing them with quite immediate updates of what they were expecting.
I have got an Optus phone and a Telstra phone, and one received it and one didn't.
It will be replaced by a new real-time national messaging system, but not until next summer.
They've been in power for 18 months already. If they had a new approach, they should have rolled it out by now.
As storm season continues. Josh Martin, 7 News.
Some of Australia's most popular cars will lose their 5-star crash rating on January 1st. The list includes Mazda's popular CX-5, Toyota's CHR and Kia Picanto. Put in place in 2021, the program measures cars against current safety protocols to stop brands promoting out-of-date 5-star ratings. But these models will now be listed as not rated in the Australasian New Car Assessment Program after manufacturers decided not to submit them for retesting. Life has come full circle for a Victoria Police graduate and his proud parents. The Blue Ribbon Foundation saved his father's life. Now the young constable has returned the favour and joined the force.
This is the moment Mark Kempton has dreamt of since he was a child.
Constable Mark Kempton.
He still can't believe his proud dad Paul was there to see it.
It's just, it would have been so bittersweet because Mark found out that he'd been accepted into the police when you were...
Well, I was in a coma.
After trying for 4 years to get into the force, he got the good news the same day Paul had a heart attack.
We got told that, get the family together because it might be the last time you see your dad.
I rested twice in the ambulance and was brought back by means of defib.
It just breaks my heart when I think that Paul may never have known that Mark had achieved that dream.
Once at the Box Hill Hospital, this ECMO machine kept him alive, doing all the work of his heart and lungs. Little did they know it had recently been donated by the Blue Ribbon Foundation.
Come on!
I said to Mark just before, the police can be out there saving lives even when they're not there, through the hospital units that we've funded right across the state.
Yep.
Thank you.
Paul's been told that without the ECMO technology, his chance of survival would have been 0. He's convinced that donation from the Blue Ribbon Foundation is the only reason he's here today watching his son graduate.
It's like a big moment for my life and I get to share it with Dad, which is a really nice thing.
He'll make an excellent policeman, he will.
Christy Cooper, 7 News.
Australia is playing a crucial role in a global effort to save a species older than the dinosaurs. The mission to protect native Wallamai pines has the support of the King himself.
Prehistoric precious cargo packed with care and shipped to botanic gardens across the globe in an emergency effort. Inside the boxes, more than 200 baby Wallamai pines.
This is a unique Australian icon, a living fossil, so to speak.
An insurance policy for a species older than the dinosaurs and under threat.
This has been a project nearly 30 years in the making, and we have conscripted an international team to make this happen. International scientists to help look at the DNA, our scientists here on the ground at the Botanic Gardens.
From North America to Europe and even the UK, where a young Wallamai was planted by the King in Westernburt earlier this month. His Royal Highness giving the conservation effort a royal seal of approval.
The Wallamai pine is such a great story of species survival. I mean, everyone thought this is a type of pine that had been extinct
for 60 million years, until a tiny colony of just under 100 trees was discovered in a remote canyon in the Blue Mountains. A botanical miracle making world headlines. Work has continued non-stop to make sure they don't perish. The Black Summer fires came dangerously close.
This baby Wallamai will grow quickly, up to 1 metre a year, and one day it will tower over us at around 40 metres.
The next challenge, whether the pines will thrive so far from home. Serena Andaloro, 7 News.
Scientists are claiming a breakthrough in the fight against one of the deadliest forms of cancer. Details on a new clinical trial are next. Also, drivers flee their burning cars. A call issued for life-saving holiday blood donations, and the Western Suburbs school students shining a light on inequality. 2 drivers have escaped injury after their cars burst into flames overnight. One vehicle caught fire on the side of the Monash freeway just before 10. Paramedics treating one of the occupants. Police also taped off the scene of another car fire on Johnson Street in South Melbourne at midnight. Both fires have been deemed not to be suspicious. Bystanders have performed a citizen's arrest after a car smashed into a convenience store on the Gold Coast. Witnesses held the driver down until police arrived, and a grey Holden Ute lost control and hit another car before smashing into the 7-Eleven. No one was hurt other than the 22-year-old driver, who was taken to hospital. Police are awaiting the results of blood tests as they determine how the crash happened. A potentially game-changing clinical trial is delivering hope to sufferers of pancreatic cancer. The disease is often dubbed a death sentence, with barely any improvements to survival rates in 4 decades.
Just after Katie Bryant's 45th birthday,
I started to get pain sort of just in my breastbone and radiating at the top of my back.
Pain so extreme she felt faint and needed to lie down.
And I was told it was anxiety. I was, an office worker. It was my back pain from that. It was indigestion, but I knew it was something more serious.
And it was. Katie had an aggressive form of pancreatic cancer.
You have a 10% chance of being alive in the next 5 years. Pretty hope-destroying, really.
After surgery and 6 gruelling months of chemotherapy, it was gone, but in a devastating twist.
Within a year of me finishing treatment, someone within my family, my husband's mother, had died of the same cancer.
It's known as the silent killer, with 30% of cases detected at stage 3, 50% at stage 4, meaning it's already spread to other parts of the body and too late for surgical intervention, claiming the lives of over 3,500 Australians every year.
We need to change those numbers, and we need to change those numbers quickly.
Pomola, a new potentially life-saving clinical trial out of the UK, is a good start. It's just been granted more than $250,000 in funding here in Australia.
Not only does it improve survival, but there are a small group of people that seem to do exceptionally well.
A glimmer of hope to those who've already exhausted all other treatment options.
Clinical trials are absolutely essential.
There's breakthroughs all the time, and you just don't know which one is going to be the breakthrough.
Heather Miller, 7 News.
Donors are reminded that while the year draws to a close, the state's blood banks remain open. Tonight we're being asked to roll up our sleeves and donate life-saving blood, especially over this holiday period.
Typically people are relaxing. We just want to remind them we've still got empty seats. We need you at our donor centres.
2,500 donors are needed in Victoria over the new year. Melbourne students are joining an international crusade to light up communities living in poverty. The primary school children are building lights to donate to villages without electricity.
Wrapping up the year with a gift like no other.
So you've got the solar panel here, which takes about 8 hours to fully charge in the sunlight.
We're up to step 5 and we're putting the screws into the holes.
This is the Solar Buddy program, a lesson in STEM where primary children are taught how to build portable lights, and a lesson in giving.
789 million people in this world live in energy poverty.
After building their solar lights, students at Canley Primary will gift them to children in Papua New Guinea, who walk 6 hours each day to attend school and often return home in darkness.
They can't work after hours when it turns dusk or night because they don't have any electricity.
The program has changed thousands of lives since it first began 6 years ago. 78% of children who have received a light have been able to study for longer and gain a more thorough education. It's also reduced the use of dangerous kerosene.
4 million people die a year of energy poverty because of respiratory system diseases, and it also affects the economics and the environments.
All up, more than 10,000 lights have now been donated to remote communities in Papua New Guinea, improving the lives of 50,000 children. Yay! Christy Mayer, 7 News.
Laura Spurway is back with sport, and Laura, Pakistan believe they were cursed in the Boxing Day test.
Blake, they've taken aim while the Aussies are already planning for life after David Warner. Also, Pat Cummins juggling captaincy and fatherhood after wrapping up the second test early. Aaron Finch reveals his retirement plans, while a Renegade star turns up the heat in the Big Bash. We speak to an injury-riddled Saint with a promising outlook for 2024. And the bizarre reason one tennis match was suspended, while Rafa Nadal draws a star-studded crowd. Welcome back. Australia has already started preparing for life after David Warner ahead of the opener's farewell test in Sydney. Cameron Green remains a live option at the top of the order as Pakistan claims it was the better team in Melbourne.
He's carried the Aussie team on his shoulders all year. 2-year-old son Albie was light work for the all-conquering Pat Cummins. Just 5 days until the first ball in Sydney, Australia likely unchanged again.
As we sat there in the change room last night, the feedback was good in terms of the bodies.
The Pakistan series secured, the New Year's test will be all about one man's farewell.
He's probably our greatest ever all-three format player.
David Warner may have one test left, but a selection meeting today already included discussions around his replacement. Just days ago, Warner anointed Marcus Harris as his successor. Cameron Bancroft, the leading Sheffield Shield run scorer for 2 years. Matt Renshaw also in the mix, while Cameron Green, the wild card that hasn't been ruled out.
All options will be considered, and as I said, we're not going to make the decision until the deadline, which will be the West Indies game. But yeah, I mean, Cameron Green could, as a discussion around who the best six batters, definitely be in the conversation.
Pakistan still seething at Mohammad Rizwan's DRS dismissal. The keeper batsman came to the crease already with a white mark on his forearm.
I believe inconsistent umpiring, technology curse, really given us the result which should have been different. Pakistan team played better than the other team in general. Our batting intent was better. Our bowling was hitting in the right areas.
Doesn't really matter, does it? It's the team who wins at the end.
There was a noise there at the same time. It appeared to be on the wristband of the glove. So to me, that's definitive.
Andrew McCormack, 7 News.
Aaron Finch has revealed this season will be his last in the Big Bash. Finch watched from the sidelines as Jake Fraser-McGurk blasted a career-best 70 off 37 deliveries. The 21-year-old helped the Renegades to their first win of the season, but the young gun was left starstruck by the striker's Chris Lynn when he belted a massive six.
Good man. That is absolutely gigantic!
Holy moly. That is the biggest six I've ever seen that I've witnessed. It actually hit the top of the roof after the boundary line.
English import Joe Clark is in doubt for the rest of the season with a quad injury. The Renegades chased down the target of 177 with 8 balls remaining and now sit in 6th on the ladder. Motherhood is driving 4-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka this summer. 15 months since her last match, Osaka is preparing in Brisbane and has reinvigorated her life of tennis and life.
I feel like I'm a different person with a different mindset, especially with Shai. I want her to see like someone that has big goals and dreams.
Rafael Nadal had a hit-up with old sparring partner Andy Murray, enough to draw a crowd that included Olympic swimming champion Ariane Titmus and her coach Dean Boxall. While Dominic Thiem's qualifying match was suspended as an eastern brown snake was spotted on court. Last night, Alex de Minaur got his campaign off to a shaky start with a tough 3-set loss to Great Britain's world number 18, Cameron Norrie, at the United Cup.
Kind of water off a duck's back, move on, looking at in a positive mindset. Then, last year I was in the same situation and I lost in 2 sets and I ended up having a pretty good year.
His girlfriend, Katie Bolter, ruined Alja Tomljanovic's first match on home soil for almost 2 years, downing the Aussie in straight sets. Britain won the tie 2-1. Jared Roughead has parted ways with St Kilda after 4 years in various roles in recruiting and mentoring. Meantime, midfielder Zach Jones is determined to recapture his best footy next year after an unlucky season battling injury.
Back training and nearly back to his best. 2023 wasn't the easiest year for Zach Jones. An Achilles, quad and knee injury sidelining him for most of the season.
Definitely frustrating, but it was good to see the team have some success and obviously didn't really get to play a part in that.
The Saints midfielder taking the off-season as an opportunity to do some rehab in Queensland, not rushing his body back to full fitness.
We've had really good discussions at the end of the year to have a really good build to the season rather than trying to spike and get that fitness really quickly.
The 28-year-old is currently contracted until the end of next season, hopeful he can play on beyond that.
There was a point there where I was thinking about it all and wasn't sure where it left me, but I feel like this year really showed that I wanted to play footy and really drive. I realised that drive was back. I feel like I got a lot more in the tank. It's just about holding the body together and having that consistency. I feel like my best footy's still ahead of me and if I have consistency then I can show that.
Focusing on more than footy in the past few months.
Off-season's been pretty busy. Although it's been a pretty rough year, I've had a kid and I've got engaged, so they're pretty positive things outside of footy.
Kate Massey, 7 News.
More than 3 days of treacherous soul-searching sailing was worth every second for the crew of Hobart-based yacht Alive, confirmed as overall winners of the Sydney Hobart. They won a 3-way scrap with URM and Moneypenny. 51 yachts have now made it to Hobart, 34 are still going, with 18 retired so far. Josh Giddey had a tough outing against NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets.
He's rejected.
The Aussie picked himself up and finished with 12 points. 40 from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led Oklahoma to a 119-93 win as the Thunder leapfrogged the Nuggets into second in the Western Conference. A brown snake on a tennis court.
No thanks.
No thanks.
You forget about the yacht still going in the Sydney Hobart, don't you? Yeah, good luck to him.
I know.
Finishing it off. All right, Melina's here with the forecast. Mel, Christmas was a fizzer. How's New Year's looking?
Well, Blake, it'll be mild and partly cloudy to ring in 2024, but the rain will hold off until after New Year's Day. I'll have all the details right after the break.
As the day breaks,
the news breaks on Sunrise.
The unfolding fire emergency. Breaking news, the Middle East is at flashpoint.
Start with what's unfolding.
The winds have picked up massively.
Start with the team Australia trusts.
One of the biggest issues that's facing the country at the moment.
Start with Sunrise.
Good evening. It was a cool and cloudy day with a sprinkle of showers about. The city made it to a top of 19 after a low of 14, and outside now it is sitting on 16 degrees. On the satellite, we have a ridge extending from a high south of the Bight, which will persist through the weekend. Checking our capital, showers and 31 in Brisbane, cloudy and 24 in Sydney, 26 and sunny in Adelaide, and Hobart is partly cloudy. But back to Victoria, cloudy in the south with isolated showers, mainly in the southeast, but it is clear and dry right across the north. We'll have light to moderate south to southwesterly winds. Temperatures will range from the low 20s in the south to the high 20s right across the north. Closer in, we are partly cloudy over the suburbs with southerly winds, so it will feel a little cool out there. Temperatures range from the high teens to the low 20s. It is partly cloudy in the city tomorrow. 13 degrees overnight before a top of 21 degrees. And this is how New Year's Eve will play out in the city for the fireworks. It'll be cool and cloudy with wind gusts of up to 25 k's an hour. Pack a jacket if you are heading out or to the fireworks. The temperature will be around 16 degrees at 9 p.m. and 15 degrees at midnight. But New Year's Day is looking lovely. A mostly sunny top of 25. Perfect pool weather. We'll have a sprinkle of showers on Tuesday, 25 again, and it's 25 on Wednesday, but it will be wet with up to 15 millimetres expected. A shower or two on Thursday, 23. We're dry and partly cloudy by Friday, 25 degrees, and partly cloudy next Saturday as well, sitting on 25 there too. And it's dry and partly cloudy in the city tomorrow for New Year's Eve. We are heading for a top of 21 degrees. Blake.
Pool weather at 25. That is optimistic.
I'm going to be in the pool.
Thank you, Mel. That is all from the Melbourne newsroom. Thanks for making us a part of your Saturday. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Stream 7 News anytime, live and on demand on 7plus. And with 7news.com.au, you'll know the news now.